You know, I remember years ago, I was canvassing door to door. As a leader of a program, I told my students that if they sold a number of great controversies, I would become a student and go out with them. During that time, there was a record of how many great controversies have been sold in the day. And my goal was to basically break that record, surpass that. When I went out that day, one of the most powerful experiences I had was sitting down with a man who came to the door. I showed him the book and he said, "Nah, I have plenty of books in my church library." I said, "You don't have this book." He said, "How do you know?" I said, "Do you understand what's coming on this earth in terms of religious liberty?" And he looked at me and he said, "No, I'm not aware." Then I showed him the book was written in 1888. He invited me into his house. We sat down. As I began to expand on these prophecies in the book, this man began to look at me with tears in his eyes. And he said, "God sent you to my house. I've been struggling. I've been grappling, not just with God, but with my own life in a sense of purpose. And just by reading this book," he was a history professor. He knew the history. He knew all the details that was contained in the book. But what he did not realize is how to view history from the eyes of God. And so because of that, what I want to encourage you to do is when you go to the door, I want you to tell people exactly what I told this man. If you knew the truth in this book, you would realize that free is too cheap. You would give your house, you would give even almost your own life to know the truth contained in this book because of its power to change your life. That man, as a history professor, I don't know how God used him, but what I do know is he's teaching history from a different perspective because of the words of these books, because I was not cowardly, I was not afraid or fragile, but I was bold to let him know God sent me to your house to share this book with you. And if you knew the truth in this book, it would be considered priceless to you. This book contains the greatest wealth of truth ever committed to mortals. You must share it.